Okay, there you go. Okay, we are recording. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys some things that we've got going on, and I'm really excited. And there are a couple things that I'm going to try to lay out to kind of help you. And what I'm hoping is that this session, if you are feeling really overwhelmed with just things in general, and especially with all the things that are going on in May, that you guys can kind of take that deep breath, have this time set aside to make a plan. Because what happens a lot of times, oh, you are just fine, Janet. Like, been there, done that. Oh my gosh, guys, there was poop everywhere. That was my morning. So like, been there. Okay. Like, I was just really grateful Zach was still in the garage when I called for help because he was leaving for the day. And I was cool. Okay. So totally get it. But because these are the types of things that we deal with, okay, in life, I know it's really hard. And I want to be personally better about making a plan for the month so that we aren't flying by the seat of our pants. I think that our leadership team in general has kind of made a cry for, hey, we don't operate well by the seat of our pants. So if you could show us how to not do that, and I'm going, oh, that would probably be a good strategy. So we're going to kind of go through this meeting, and then I'm going to try to figure out what you guys need. And should, you know, like even along the lines of after this is done to see if you guys said, you know what, this was really valuable. Maybe we should plan something like this once a month. You know, maybe the first Saturday of the month, we have just kind of an informal, hey, whatever team leaders and directors can make it. We set aside, we reflect on how last month went. Now that we are fully aware of what all the next month's specials are, make a plan for your business. And so what I'm really hoping is that you guys are going to get a lot of like, whoa, I really felt like I was able to put my own oxygen mask on today and make a plan for myself. And what that's going to do is make you more effective for your teams, okay? Whether they be a team leader team, a future director team, or if you guys are working closer to things like advanced or senior. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I created this form. And even if you are a team leader, I would love for you to have this, because those of you guys that are on here, it's because you're team leaders and you're working towards having a solid team leader team, or you're working on towards having a solid business, or you're working on a director promotion. Okay, so it is totally okay for you to fill this out this month too. So I put it in the chat form. Okay, what this is I'm calling it a director oxygen mask form. So do not panic. You will notice, okay, it's going to go in, you're going to put in your name. You're going to put in how many shows you want for the month. And then you're going to actually list your shows. So you might be in panic like, well, I don't know where they are. Or I'm not sure. I think I've got 3 shows. I don't remember who they are when they start. This is the time that you're going to take a second and get your ducks in a row. Okay, that's what I want this first few minutes to be able to be. Because if you're anything like me, you sit there and go, yeah, no, I think I've got like 6 shows on my calendar. I need to work on 2 more. And then you actually take the time to go look and go, oh God, that's only 4. Or, oh yeah, number 5 is that reschedule that's happened twice. You know what I mean? Like type of a thing. And we don't sit there and go, what does our month actually look like? So go ahead and take a few minutes. I don't know if that means you need to go grab your calendar, if that means you need to pop up your phone, if you need to kind of go to the side of the screen or something for a little bit, but we're going to take a few minutes and do that. And you're going to also notice it says like show 1. I'm asking if it's cooking, virtual, or other. I know director team, some of you guys were like, hey, I'm going to try a squee party this month. Maybe you have a fundraiser for help with cancer. Maybe if you have a vendor event, I would not count that as a show. Does that make sense? Like, that's great that you have that, but don't count it as a show because you're likely not going to get, why is someone calling me? Sorry, and I think that just made you all freeze, and I don't know how to get them to stop calling me because it's not letting me deny them right now. Sorry, hold on. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but I gotta wait for this call to be done. Okay, are we back? I don't know if you could hear me or not, but I was getting a phone call and it wasn't giving me the option to deny it. And you guys are on my hotspot, so I think it just like froze everything. Okay, so so you'll see like the show, it says shows 1 through 8. You might have more, you might have less. You'll notice that those ones aren't required because I don't know, maybe your show goal is 4. I don't know, maybe your show goal is 6. Okay, maybe your show goal is 10, but for sure being able to do that, because that's going to give you that option to see where are you right now. Is your calendar full? Is it not? And then the date, I'm asking for the date because again, a booking is not a booking without a date. So if you have Sally over here that has not confirmed a date with you, don't put it on this sheet. There's no right or wrong. It's literally a temperature gauge. Where are you at? A little bit of accountability with that. And then at the bottom, I ask for your the questions that are required are, you should know what your sales goal and your recruiting goal is. In the description, you'll see that I said, hey, you'll always know that if you are in a leadership status, if you're trying to do a director team, that I highly, highly recommend that your goal is at minimum $2,500 because you want to be doing at least half of your team. Okay. Now some of you guys are like, well, I want to do the whole thing. Like, I get that, but like, you should be doing at least half, because if you're counting on having to do the whole thing, then that means there's some work that we need to do with developing your team and recruiting. Okay. Because if you have 1 or 2 new people coming in every month that are working towards their 1250, you should be getting 1 or 2 helpers that have 800, 1,000, 500, here and there, and it all adds up. And then your recruiting goal, again, the same thing. You should, in the description, I let you know, here's the deal. If your recruiting goal is 1, that is maintenance. If it is 2 or more, that is growth. Again, no right or wrong answer, but you just need to know what those numbers mean. Okay, are you trying to maintain, or are you trying to grow what you have right now? Okay, so I'm gonna give you stop. Oh, I stopped it if you have a vendor event. Okay, if you have a vendor event, don't count that as a show, because here's the deal. That's like, to me, a vendor event is like a power hour. It's possible that you'll get sales. It's possible that you'll get bookings. It's possible that you'll get recruit leads, but I don't go to a vendor event being like, yep, I've got a host. I've got X number of people that are going to be there. This is what's going to happen. And I'm going to come out of it with a guaranteed party. Okay. Like that's not the mental, things that you guys should be in. And I think some of us are in that mindset, like, well, but I've got a vendor event, so it's okay. Vendor event is like bonus. That is my 8-hour power hour day. Okay, like that's kind of what that should be. Okay, so if you have been mentally calculating those as shows and you're not getting the results that you want, you might notice some of that. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to give us a few moments to go fill that out. Okay, and to kind of get our act together. When you are done, I'll see it on the screen. I'll see it pop in and get submitted. But go ahead and come in here and say done as well, just so that we know. Okay, so everybody, team leaders, directors, advanced directors, everybody just kind of take a second and look at your calendar, because what we're going to do next with creating a power plan, you're going to need to know, what does your personal business look like, so that you know how to move forward. And you'll notice there aren't any questions about your team on there. It's just you. We got to figure you out first, right? Okay, so we will get that in. Those of you guys that just joined, I don't know if you guys can see in the chat, I'm going to put the form again in here. We are filling out our Google form that is just taking a temperature gauge on what your schedule and goals look like for the month, so that it can be relevant for what we're doing next, okay? I'm going to go ahead and shut up for a few minutes and let you do that. If you have a question, of course, pop in and let us know what's up. And this is good stuff coming in, friends. Okay, so as we're finishing this, let's kind of be honest. And again, because it cannot detect. Can you hear me? It's yelling at me saying it can't detect my microphone. Okay, that was weird. So being able to be honest and be like, how many of us do this every month? I mean, do you guys ever like sit down and be like, okay, for sure, what do I know I have? Or is it kind of like this, hey, down the pike, oh God, what's happening next week? I mean, I know I used to operate that way. I would say the beginning of this year is actually, so please don't wait 7 years to do this. Okay. Hopefully I will get you guys gauged a little bit more, but I am not naturally a planner person. And if you were to look at the planner that I got, you'd be like, Trina, there's a lot of empty spaces in here, a lot of pages you skipped, or like, yep, you didn't do it that week. But I've noticed that this has been a good baby step in getting me to do this every month, to be like, okay, stop, fill in your shows, get a black and white visual of what you actually have going on for the month, so that you're not scrambling at the end of the month being like, oh, good or bad for the most part, because I typically don't run into, oh my gosh, I don't have anything in my calendar. I'm just kind of always like, I got shows, it's fine. And I keep going. But then, I run into those times where I have to binge book. And all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I got to go get 8 shows right now because they all canceled. Or maybe I got some recruits that month and then all those bookings went to them and my calendar was pilfered. Good problem to have, but still a problem to have, because we've got to be able to get our business up and running. Okay. So what I'm going to be doing is I think that this is a lot less intimidating, I think, and a lot more purposeful in helping you guys with your personal business. Directors, I am going to be, I'm going to be, I don't know, at the end of this, I'm going to figure out if I think that this is something good that we want to engage all together as like an actual just powwow meeting, and I'm going to encourage it. But I will be sending this out to all of the directors every month, encouraging you to fill it out if we haven't filled it out together in some sort of a meeting, if that makes sense. And then directors, we'll kind of have discussions. I love that we have our team leaders here today. And so we'll kind of discuss what that looks like, if we want you guys to be able to kind of do that to take care of your team leaders, or if we want to kind of have them being ushered in with that goal as they're coming into leadership and the things that you guys are connecting with. As a side note, team leaders, we have been discussing as a leadership team for like months, like, hey, how do we involve our team leaders? And we just have never come up with a good plan yet. So we love you. We notice you. You're studs. Okay. But we just have not come up with a good plan yet. She'll have to do the replay. Okay, Lisa, she's said that she's on. Okay, yeah, she's on here. Okay. I was like, I see her. She just told me done. Okay, so now that we have that gauge, I'm going to go in and I'm going to show you guys. And as you guys can see, okay, hopefully you're going in and you're able to look at and say, okay, so now I have a black and white. And again, I'm not going to say a whole lot, but most of you have 4 shows or less on your calendar. Okay. And so then again, the reality is you want to plan on 1 or 2 of those canceling. And so if at the end of the month, you're not going to be happy with submitting 2 shows, hopefully this power plan will help us being able to get to where that is. Okay. And then also being able to keep in mind some of those other big goals when we throw out numbers. Sometimes we throw out a number and then if we were to look at that number, we go, but that doesn't match up with the other things that we're saying that we want. Okay. For example, if you say, okay, my sales goal is 2,000. And then in 15 minutes, if I were to ask you what you would like, what level free for all you're shooting for, and you tell me all of it, well, that's great. But you just told me your sales goal is 2,000. If you want all of it, you have to sell 3. You know what I mean? Or, sometimes people will be like, yeah, I really want to go to Disney. Okay. My sales goal this month is $1,500. Okay. That's great. But if you really want to go to Disney, that's not enough sales points. You're not hitting your consistency bonus. You're not, you know what I mean? Like just making sure that you figure out what is that one big goal that's going to move you farthest in there. For most of you, if you want to travel and you set your sights on really figuring out what it takes for that, the rest of your goals are going to fall into place. Your income goals, your free-for-all goals, your recruiting goals, your promotion goals, the rest of those will trickle in. And it was really helpful for me to figure that out, because I was chasing so many shiny things that I was like ready to give up on all of them, because I was like, I can't do all the things. I can't do the excellence awards and the trip and the Disney Elite and the Paris and the promoting directors and the title and the money. Like, I was like, I can't do it. Like, I didn't know what was important, and then I didn't know where to focus. And so if you're able to figure out, okay, you know what? My family needs me to get $1,000 paycheck. That's what my family needs. So what does that look like? Okay, like, to be able to focus on that. If you're going, you know what? Like, all of my goals really surround on me earning this trip for my family. Me being able to get away for a little bit, whether that's taking the trip for 2 option with you and hubby, or whether that's taking your family, whether that's taking your adult kids, okay, whether that's taking 2 of your friends because it's a trip for, like, I don't know what that looks like for you, but maybe it's something with that. Maybe it revolves around just being able to be a part of this that you see right here, this community. And for some of you, that means that director title and that recognition across stage. I want to change my answers. Stephanie, if you want to message those to me later, I can adjust them in my sheet so that I have them to be able to look at, so that I can help keep that accountable. But like I said, it's important to do that. Like here, like I'll mention, like Mindy and I have had that conversation. Like, she's working on promoting, and we've talked about like some of her numbers and some of her things. And then we took that step back. I said, there's nothing wrong with your numbers, but they're not matching up with what you're telling me you want for Disney. Oh, God, someone's calling again, and I can't go, who is this? Okay, hold on. I'm going to answer it because they called back again, and it's a local number. So it's kind of freaking me out. So hold on. That was my Uncle Don, who is buying our house. So of course he called multiple times, because he also called my husband, who's golfing today, and he didn't answer. But sorry, I didn't recognize the number, and I was starting to get worried. I was like, my husband's out golfing. Like, is it the golf course calling? Like, something happened? Like, and Lisa just said she thinks she can form another change, and you might be able to submit another form if you need to change your answers. I don't think I have that blocked. I don't think I have it blocked to just one response, so that's true. Okay, so now I got to get my brain back into the mode. But just making sure that you guys know what those are. And if you're going, hey, I'm having some trouble knowing how to line those up, then that's definitely a one-on-one conversation, or like a goal training session that we can do individually to make sure that we are matching up your numbers with what you're saying, okay? Because that can be something in leadership that's really discouraging. You're throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping it sticks, and you're not even knowing where you should be throwing it. Whereas if you guys can tunnel vision into what you want, maybe it's confidence, maybe it's just encouragement, maybe it's a certain paycheck, whatever it is, but knowing that you are in tunnel vision for whatever that is that kind of drives your passion will be important. Okay, so we are going to transition now that we have our personal temperature gauge done, which I want to encourage you guys is number 1. Especially all of you guys have a team. And so it is so tempting to just be helping the team all the time, or to feel like a good leader. And so that means that you're giving all this attention to your team. Guys, a good leader takes care of themselves. I'm going to say that again. A good leader takes care of themselves. If you guys were looking at me and seeing that I didn't have a show schedule, that I was not recruiting, okay, then you wouldn't care what I had to say in any of these trainings, honestly. If I was trying to give you all of these tips about bookings and shows and what to do and how to earn trips, and I wasn't doing any of it, like, take a real moment right here. Would you care about what I had to say? So I want you to think about that. Like, I love all of you, and I love that I have been able to figure out a little bit on how to make sure that I've taken care of my personal business first, and then I can pour into you guys. But I promise you, if my personal business is drowning, I will not be I would not be scheduling meetings with you guys. I would not be answering your messages. I would not be scheduling trainings that I'm doing. Like, it just wouldn't be happening. Okay, I would be taking care of my personal business first so that I had the tips and tricks and the reality of being able to go into you. So I want you guys to have permission for that. Oh, and I love Janet's. Okay, and this is a good thing too, Janet. I'm going to use you as an example if that's okay. So Janet has some huge goals. Okay, she is really close to hitting excellence. Okay, in both recruits and sales. Okay, now she can do both. She can, and she's kind of struggling right now to make a decision. How hard is she going to fight? The sales one, she needs about $10,000. Now, if you guys have even looked at anything that Janet has ever done, you know that if there was someone who could do it, it was her. Okay. She needs to have it finished by the end of May. Okay. But she also is like 4 or 5, I think she's 5 people away, and like 3 are going to be like done by the end of this week of hitting it in recruits. So she really needs to focus on getting 2 more people to 1250. So her and I have talked about, here's the deal. Like, it'd be awesome to hit it in both. But using her phrase, hitting it in one, your first year in business is nothing to shake a stick at. And it's smarter for her to focus her energy on qualifying 5 people. Hits Excellence Award. There's 15,000 Disney points. You know what I mean? Like, it focuses that energy into a little bit more of her goal. And there is nothing wrong with finding a goal, taking it, and we talk about looking at the work that it would take to do it and kind of coming, and being like, you know what? I love that. I could do it, but that I don't want to right now. I don't want to put in the work that it would take to get that. There are sacrifices that have to happen in order for me to get that. And when I zoom out and look at big picture, those aren't sacrifices I'm willing to make right now. It is okay to have that happen. But you also have to be able to zoom out big picture and say, you know what? I do want that. And I have to make a few sacrifices now to make that happen. Okay. But you have to be able to gauge and figure that out. Okay. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to look at the power plan. So I'm going to screen share here a little bit. And show you guys where this is in case you haven't been there. If you were at conference last year, this was the director training that they did. And oops, sorry guys. Oops. Let me get, okay. So I'm going to show you where this is. So this is under leader resources. Now, team leaders here, actually, here's a good question. Would a current team leader go show me if you have this? I don't know if Pampered Chef gives this to you at the team leader level or just the director level. So if any of you will go look, it's under training resources and then it's under leader resource center. Okay. So this is the recording. If you are not on the team or if you are not at recording, this gives you the training basically had. I mean, it's all last year's numbers and information, but it runs you through kind of what to do. Okay, and then this is where you find the power plan template that we're going to walk through today. We're going to look at this 6-month review so that we can figure out what's going on, so we can figure this out, and then they actually give us some activities to run. So let's look at this. Okay, so we know what's going on with May. I saw something popping up in the chat, so let me see if, oops. We have one thing, we have the meeting planner. Ooh, that's even interesting to know though. So you guys have the team meeting planner. That's awesome. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so I want you guys to look at this. This was updated for March, okay, our spring at a glance. And so I want you guys to see what's going on. And here is what I'm not been super good at and what I would love for us to be able to brainstorm and figure out. Because what's happening is we're operating one panicked month at a time. And we don't want to operate that way. We want to be able to, again, zoom out, see big picture, so we can be planning for what's coming down the pike. Okay, like we're in May right now, and we all need to be keenly aware that summer is coming. Summer is coming, and summer is different. Okay, if you have not been with Pampered Chef for a year, home office still considers you a new consultant. Okay, because you've never been through all of the seasons with us. So everything is new. Like someone who has never been through a Christmas with us, they don't know what's going on. Like, why are suddenly people asking for things in October? Like, I've never had people ask me to buy something and, like a booking to fall in my lap or whatever. Okay. You know what I mean? It's just different. June, July, and August, it's very different. Regionally, it will depend. It was really interesting when I ran my business in Oklahoma versus coming in to Wisconsin, like because of the weather differences. Like here's the deal, like in Oklahoma, people loved doing shows on the weekend because it was kind of too hot to do anything. They weren't really out and about in Oklahoma. Okay. In Wisconsin, if you tell me you want to do a Saturday show, honestly, I'm not booking it because everyone is going to wake up and that one day it was finally beautiful and they're all at the cabin. They're all at the boat. They're all swimming. Like they were going to go to your show if it was raining, but guess what? It's one of the 4 days of the year that it's not. So they're gone. Okay. So like, it was just really interesting for me to gauge how that made me run my business. Okay. And so just being able to know that. Okay. So do you guys see what's coming down the pike? Okay. So we had March and April. So May, this month we're thinking Mother's Day. Again, the shipping cutoff is done. Okay. But like, again, if we're looking at this in advance and thinking, okay, so what's coming next month? Okay. We're prepping for summer. It's like the cool down. Okay. We're in the end of the school year panic, graduation gifts, things like that are coming out. And this also tells us when they're announced. Okay. So for June, so I want us to take a second. We're in May, but really, if you guys realize the only thing that matters for us right now is prepping for summer, right? Because we're not looking ahead, like we miss some of these opportunities. So now let's start thinking about Father's Day. Okay, summer family fun, picnics, outdoor entertaining. Okay, this is where our mindset shift, and these are the things that customers are interested in. So these are the things that we need to start providing value and service to for our customers. Okay, then when we get down the pike a little bit more, okay, summer barbecues, 4th of July, staycations, people are taking a few days off just hanging out at home. Okay, people are camping. August, now we're thinking back to school, lunch ideas, easy weeknight meals because people are getting back in the swing of things. Okay, do you see how if we know what's coming down the pike, it'll change our shift of customer service? Okay, so we want to be thinking of that when you guys make it. And then it tells us when our host specials are done. So like, we know what our June, let me open it up so I can just say them. I'm going to open this up in the app. So our June host flyer is double rewards. Okay, and it's like ice cream stuff and like the waffle puff pan. It's like fun, outdoorsy stuff. Okay, which we might like look at this and go, wait, what? But if we look at our customer interests for July, it makes so much sense. They're making popsicle with the kids and ice cream, and they've got this cool and serve tray for their barbecues, and you know what I mean? Like, it makes sense. So they're not just flying by the seat of their pants. In the middle of June, we'll know what our July and August ones are. Oh, we do know our July. Just kidding. Okay, our July specials are grilling, the double burner grill pan, s'mores, the indoor-outdoor grill, the rock crocs. Okay. So you'll notice that like Pampered Chef has a plan and they're matching this out, and we need to be able to do that too. Okay. They give us ideas for party themes that are relevant. You'll notice as soon as the summer starts that their things are kids in the kitchen. You might go, well, that's kind of boring. No, it's not, because kids are home and people are going bananas because their kids are home all day and they need stuff to do with them. If we can be customer service oriented, if we want to do a kids in the kitchen workshop, I don't know, people are home, maybe even if you don't have kids, you're thinking, what can I do with the grandkids? They're home for the summer. I'm going to go, get them out of mom's hair for the day. You know what I mean? Like there are just things that are in there, and they're announcing this to be able to go through. Okay. We are working on free for all. Okay. They've got recruiting things. Now you'll notice they don't really tell anything, but in the monthly planner and in the monthly focus, every month and every week, they give you words and verbiage and tips. Okay, so now what I'm going to have us look at, now that we kind of know what this is, okay, I want us to look at the power plan. Okay, if you have the ability, if you are a team leader and you do not have access to this, just get a piece of paper or a Google Doc out to be able to kind of fill this out so you know what's going on. So I want us to be able to spend some time right now and individually, we're going to work, and I think I'm going to, okay, well here, let me take a temperature gauge here and see what you guys want. Would you rather have us try to work on this all together as a large group on some ideas, or would you rather have me break you up into like groups of 3 and send you to little like group chats? What's more manageable? Because you're going to kind of fill this out personally on what you would like to do for your team. I mean, we'll come back together and like bring our ideas to it if I did separate you, but what do you think? Like the first time, should we walk through this all together and try to have the same plan? Or is that overwhelming because now we're all just trying to come up with it? I do not see anything coming up in the chat. I don't know if that's because you're all staring at me or because my chat disappeared. Could be either one. Where's my chat guy? Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing for a second to see if I can find my chat. There you are. Together. Okay, so overwhelming together. Okay, I get lost when he breaks out. Stephanie does get lost. It like kicks her out. Okay, so we're gonna go through this first one together and then we'll see if kind of breaking up or whatever later helps. Okay, so now I'm gonna fill mine out, but yours might look different. So make sure you are filling yours out, again, whether that's on paper or whatever, in a way that will help you out. Okay, so I need to screen share again so we can get together. You guys can see my screen. Okay, so Trina's May power plan. Okay, so now we're gonna look, and this would be when it will be easier for me if you holler out at me than if I'm having to look back in the chat. So what I love about this is this power plan. Book, sell, recruit, and developing others are the 4 pillars. Those are the 4 pillars of your business, okay? Now, team leaders, you're probably not looking at this 4th one at all right now because we're looking at it developing you. Okay, does that make sense? Like, so this 4th one right now, honestly, you don't need to really worry about it. Okay, because your directors should be worrying about it or looking at it to help develop you and to develop your teammates. Okay, but we all need to be looking at booking, selling, and recruiting. Okay, if you were to work with just a teammate on this, maybe they're just looking at booking and selling, but honestly, then you're missing the boat without having recruiting team culture. Okay, so let's take a second. Who is your audience? What will you prep for yourself? Okay, when I am booking and I'm looking at what these people want, okay, I am thinking of people, okay, I'm thinking of graduation, busy family, end of the school year. Weddings are coming up. Who else? Summer schedules, sports or things like that. Okay, because again, right now I'm just thinking about bookings. Okay, so if I was to look at that, I would be like, okay, so these are the people that I'm looking at. What are some other ideas that you could throw out at me that maybe I should have here? What will you prep for yourself?
Family reunions.
Ooh, that's a good one. Family reunion. What was the other one?
Camping and recreational stuff like that. A lot of my hosts are camping and buy stuff for their campers.
Awesome. Yep. And again, think of like regionally, like for us, like in Wisconsin, we're just now being like, ooh, it's almost time to break it out. Whereas like Oklahoma is like, we've been sweating our patooties off for a month and a half now. Like we're done. We don't want to be outside. It's over. But like this being able to go, yes. And like camping is a big thing. Apparently, like buying stuff for the campers, like when you think everyone has everything. And so even thinking of the type of tools, like flexible cutting mats, rock quick cookers, the ceramic, like the coated cutlery, all of those types of things like come up a lot when I have people telling me that they're in their camper. Good. What else? Is there anyone else that we're missing? What are some other?
As Stephanie said in her video yesterday, I think it was, fundraisers. Fundraisers are really big right now.
Yep. Fundraisers are big. And here's something else that's interesting that I was taught. So when we think of this, and again, this is the power of being able to plan ahead. Contacting people now, like schools and different things like that now, because here's the deal. They are setting up their fundraisers for next year now. You know what I mean? Like if you contact the football team in the fall to do a fundraiser, they've already got 4 set up. Maybe they'll think of you next year or in the spring, right? You know what I mean? Like, which isn't bad, but if you're going, darn it, I was counting on that, but you know what I mean? Like we need to be able to be ahead of the game. But yes, I love that. Yeah, guys, if you have not been seeing, Stephanie Lowe and Shelley Wolf have been popping in and giving some booking tips to our organization. Like, I think it's huge. Guys, I think it's creating that culture. It's getting our the leadership faces out there. It's sharing those ideas that, again, we think like, well, duh, our team has no clue. Our team has no clue. Okay, like it's all brand new information. Something that really stuck out to me that Judy Joel did in a training, a call or whatever, I think for Lead or whatever the other day, was you're not saying it for the people who already know. You're saying it for the new people. You're saying it for the people that haven't heard it before. And that just gave me a new perspective of like, oh yeah, so when I feel like I'm a broken record, like someone else is going, oh, what a great idea. Let me use that, okay? Okay, good. Okay, so let's move over to the second box. And again, we're just focusing on booking. Okay, so what resources can we use? If we think of these people, these are the people that we're talking to. What are some resources that we could use? Help with cancer items. Okay, so we've got some fundraisers already there with them. Even if you're doing a fundraiser for a different nonprofit, like if it's already a, hey, we like to give back, then also using like the Pink Whipped Cream maker and the snack bar maker and things that are just gonna give extra donations are probably gonna be on there. So the help with cancer items. What are some other resources? So think resources, because we're not selling yet. What are some other resources we can use to get bookings? I'm going to put monthly focus, weekly action plan. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, let me show you. I go over with my personal team the first Thursday of every month at noon. I go over this with them. And you just go here, and here's the deal, like especially if you're a new consultant, you're getting emails all the time from Pampered Chef. An order has been added to your show. Someone wants you to add them to their weekly newsletter. Hey, here's your new email for the day. Hey, did you know this? You know, I mean, it's all over the place. Okay, so if we look at this, the monthly focus, I literally we play these videos and we watch them together. They're like 5 minutes long. Okay, it's a half-hour meeting at lunch. Okay, but the weekly action plan, and you guys have been seeing me in the director page, I've been copying and pasting this in there. Like, go ahead and copy and paste it in your team pages or send it out in a text. But it tells you pretty specifically what is something that's relevant today. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if we watch this video, it's going to give us ideas on booking, okay, and recruiting and things like that. Okay, so it gives us, I can click on the booking and it's going to tell us 2 reasons people would want to book in May. Okay, so maybe I need to know, what are they? Why would somebody want to book a show in May? Oh, a fundraiser. Oh, maybe I could use themes. That's something that can go in my power plan. So I could say theme shows, party packs, right? Okay, what's something else that could go in here for the resources? But do you see how using those resources let me know, oh, I have another resource. Like, oh yeah, themes. If I tell people, let's do it, like salad and sangria has been getting people to book. I was at a salad and sangria show last week and I was talking about the grill pan, and I started talking about doing a pizza show. I was like, yeah, guys, I mean, we can do a barbecue chicken pizza and this is how it comes together, and we can do a dessert pizza. And one of the girls came up to me to book and she goes, I want that pizza thing you talked about. I want to do a pizza show. Like, I had no idea that me just throwing that out there, she pictured what that looked like in her head as a show, and she was like, I'm all about it. Okay, anything else that you feel that we need to put here that would be good here?
The host special.
There you go, host special. Like, guys, it's 60% off anything. Like, it doesn't matter what is on their wish list. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, if you've had people send you your wish list, in here, should we show you how to find those and how to use those? So when you have someone say, I don't have any contacts, I don't have anything, there's nothing here. Okay, I'm gonna go to full site. If you go to your account and you go to view wish lists, okay, and then you go to my customers, it's going to show you people that have wish lists. So if you're going, I don't have bookings, I don't know what to do, I don't know who a reason. Stephanie Lowe just was like, oh my word, this is a game changer. Okay. Now these are people that have sent wish lists, whether that's hosts, guests, whatever. Okay. When they first send me a wish list, I don't do anything with it. I'm just glad they filled it out, because here's the deal. If I need bookings, I have a pool to go in intentionally and connect with them on. So I can go here. Okay. Here, I'm going to go to Amber and I'm going to click on her list. Okay, what does she have? Okay, she has a cutting board. Okay, so there's nothing huge on her list. Okay, but I could be like, hey, you know, I saw that you had that ice cream sandwich maker on your list. I would love to be able to, and again, it's the same thing. Maybe you're offering incentives. Okay, maybe you want to offer a freebie. Okay, and you're like, well, I just keep offering people the ceramic egg cooker, but nobody cares. Okay, so that's what, a $16 freebie. Okay, what if I wanted her to book and instead I offered her, I offered her both of her, I don't know, I offered her her garlic peeler. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, but you see where I'm going with this? Like maybe that, you know, she doesn't have anything on her wish list that is that same price point. But maybe I say, you know what? But if she books, I'm willing to give her her large scoop. Okay, so if I go and say, hey, I noticed that you have this on your wish list. What if we get you a party, and when your party hits $400, I'm going to give you your large scoop in May. Plus, you're going to be able to get 60% off anything else. Okay, do we see how that works? So let's go back. To our customers. So what if I go and I say, okay, I'm going to go to Jessica's. What does she have? Oh, she's got Rock Crocs. Here's the deal. She can get 60% off this Rock Croc set. Let's go get her. Right? Okay, does that make sense? Like being able to be like, hey girl, I know that you've been looking at that 2.5 quart slow cooker set. I saw that was on your wish list. I'd love to help you get that for you. And do you see how now you feel like you have a purpose and an intention? And here's the deal. I guarantee you, if you train yourself or your teammates to do this, okay, they're going to feel a lot more comfortable. And suddenly that person, when I've talked to everybody. No, you haven't. Did you ask Jessica about her Rock Croc? Go back and look at your messages and screenshot me that you asked her about her Rock Croc. Because they're going to say, no, I didn't know that. I asked her a year ago and I didn't think that she would. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. Was that helpful? Was that worth the price of admission right there? Okay. Okay. How will we use these resources? Okay. I will go look at wish lists. Okay. Now here's the deal. What if you're saying, or your consultants are saying, I don't have wish lists? I will incentivize. How do you spell incentivize? No, apparently like that. Okay, with tickets in a party for people to create wish lists. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, you see, like you might be like, well, I don't have anything now. So start doing things now that will create those reasons for you to reach out and create that contact, okay? I will reach out to nonprofits. Okay, what else? Let's see. I will offer themes to book 2 cooking shows. What else is there? I will look at the weekly action plan each week for ideas. Okay, does this make sense? And like, this is like, when we get through this point of this action plan and really feeling like we have something, okay, then we're going to really feel like we've got something actually happening and we have steps to go through. Okay, now here is the trick, the when. You can have all of these ideas. You could have filled out this lovely power plan, okay, over the last few minutes with us. And if you do not schedule a time to work, and if you do not do the things, it doesn't matter. Okay, I don't know how many times I have come through with great ideas, or I've gotten the bookings and then I don't execute, and then all that work falls apart. And truthfully, for most of us, this part right here is where it crumbles. We have the ideas, we attend the meetings, we get the resources, we watch the training video, and then life happened and we never got to this stage, which is the money-making stage. Okay, so when will you execute this activity? Okay, so I've got, I have my power hour on Monday mornings. Okay, let's see, I will update my action plan every Monday with the weekly action plan. Maybe you're saying I will do my wish list contacts on Wednesday at 8 p.m. I don't know. And here's the deal. Something else that I was looking at. It was really interesting. I was watching some of these training videos and they were talking about, here's the deal. Get rid of your to-do list. Successful people don't live with a to-do list. They live with a calendar. And I was like, that's really powerful, because what they do is they go, I don't put things on my to-do list. I schedule things. If I need to make contacts, I don't put it on my list. I say Monday at 10 a.m., I'm working on my wish list and it's on my calendar. And so guess what? It gets crossed off your to-do list. Like that was a really powerful eye-opening thing to me, that I was like, you know what? And depending on how you operate, maybe you operate really well, but like the reality is a to-do list is not meant to get the whole thing done. It's meant to get like 80% of it done. And so it's not that that's bad, but if you are operating going, but you know what? I'm only getting 50% of it done. It's probably because it's not scheduled. You are not giving yourself permission to say no to everything else and saying yes to this one thing because it's on your calendar. Okay. And again, I deal with small children. So those of you that are going, but I can't get that because of whatever chaos is going in your life, like I understand that. Sometimes if I schedule something at 9 a.m. on Tuesday, it doesn't happen. Okay. But that what I would be able to look at for my calendar, if baby is having a meltdown or something happens, someone's sick or whatever, like I would be able to be like, that was scheduled for 9 a.m. on Tuesday. I need to reschedule it. I need to reschedule it. When will that fit? Does that fit in later this afternoon? Does that fit in? You know what I mean? Just like a host coaching call. Okay. If you schedule a host coaching call at 5 p.m. and something happens and she wasn't able to make it and you weren't able to make it, do you just like randomly put it on your to-do list for the next day, or do you reschedule it with that host? You should be rescheduling it with that host. Okay. Does this make sense? How are we doing? We doing okay? Yes? Okay, does anybody need more time to fill their spots out right now? Like, do we need to slow down? Are we going too fast? I'm getting some thumbs up from Stephanie Lowe, who I can see on the screen. The rest of the week. Okay, anybody else? Give me thumbs up, thumbs down, slow down. Whoa, Nellie. Okay, okay. Now that I can see some of the rest of your faces. Okay, so let's move on to the cell. So hopefully right now you're feeling pretty good. Like I have some specific things that I can do to go get my calendar the way that I want it to. Okay. Selling. Okay. So now let's sit there and think, who is our audience? Okay. If I'm trying to sell them stuff, okay. Brides. Okay. College kids. Families. Camping families. I mean, you're going to notice a lot of this is going to be very, very similar. Who else am I trying to sell stuff to? I don't know. What? It's 60% off anything, or dieting people. I'm just gonna put dieting, like keto, like that's a very trendy thing right now. Farmers, freshies. I'm just gonna put that kind of like in my brain, because like right now we're entering like fresh vegetable season. People are doing like vegetable trays. Social friends. So people that are like really social. Zach just sent me a message. Don's probably going to be calling. Yes. Okay. Okay. Who else? Anybody? Any other ideas? What are some other people that I could put in here? Yay, nay? Nothing. Okay, how about resources then? So let's move on to here. Bridal registry. Okay, even if they already have, like say their wedding is in a month or two and they already have their registry set up, you could still totally sell them some things, or like talk to their mom. Hey, do you want a nice pants? Should we do a party and just let people know that they can get you a few things off of here? I don't know. So let's go back to our action plan. Let's go see. Where's my Leader Resource Center? Okay, so if I go back to, Let's go look at my monthly focus again and see what's going on. Okay, and if I go to my weekly action plan, let's click on selling. Okay. Okay, so we have the Disney things, but we can't really sell those now. We've got waffle puff pan stuff. Influence lover, waffle puff pan, outlet items. There's, oh, well, here we go. So that outlet item just gave me ideas. Oops. Outlet garden items. All those garden tools or whatever are in the outlet right now. So, I mean, that might be give me something to reach out to. I have to be thinking Father's Day is coming along. Father's Day, oops. Grilling tools. Okay, outline, like team outlines, party packs, marketing imagery. What else? What are some other resources that might be helpful? What do you think? Okay, how will I use those? I will reach out to brides or ask for referrals. You know, who knows somebody getting married? You know what I mean? Like, if your bride is chosen, I will send her a whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'll send her a little gift. All brides will go into a drawing. All brides that create a registry, I like that. All brides that create a registry will go into a drawing for whatever. Maybe you have something in your stash, like directors, we earn samples all the time. Okay, maybe we have an extra big kahuna gift that we can just give away that is like a big ticket item. And you can put qualifiers on her, you know, must have 25 brides entered to win. Or, you know, I don't know, like these are going to be things that are going to help you get new business. Okay, take a poll on Facebook for who gardens. Okay, just getting like an idea, like, hey, I just want to know, like, who are people that gardens? Strike up some of those conversations, and then I could private message people that said that they do, being like, hey, you know, I just want to let you know that there are some really cool gardening tools in the outlet right now that are on special. I don't know how long they'll last, but I thought that you might like to look at them. That's super service oriented. Maybe you'll get sales for them. Maybe you won't, but you know what? Like, that should be just even with the idea that maybe you want to put together a camping party. I don't know, maybe everybody that camps, you want to come in and be like, hey, if you want to know what tools are really good for your camper, I'm going to put together a little 30-minute event. Come in here. Okay. Yes.
This is Steph.
Yes.
I just had an idea when you're talking about gardens. Like, I don't know about all areas, but I know locally we have like a garden club. So Port Clinton Garden Club. So that might be something where you could reach out to, you know, I don't know who the president of the garden club is or members of those or something like that.
That's super fun. I just put that in under who, because that's a great contact to be able to go reach out. So then, like, I will reach out to the garden club president and see how I can serve. I don't know.
And then I just had one more idea too. I know there's kind of in booking too, but it could be in selling, and we're not there all the way yet. You talked about farmers or something like that earlier.
Yes.
Farmers market. This is going to be seasons for that. So maybe at your local farmers market, put together like a recipe with the fresh things, you know, veggies or something like that, and then maybe have an incentive like coupon or something to either book or money off, or, you know, $5 off or something like that if you order or whatever. So I was just thinking when you were talking about that.
Love that. Yeah, I totally even forgot about that. So yeah, I guess farmers markets, like there's one down the street or whatever every couple months. And like, again, and these are the types of things that you're going to figure out, is this worth, you know, what are the things that are worth your time? Maybe once a month you want to show up at the local farmers market. Maybe you want to show up as a guest carrying your reusable tote and chatting with them people. Maybe you want to set up a little stand and you've got the veggie strip maker and, you know, some of these things that are going to show people that are shopping for these items. You know, like being like, okay, bring that quick, I dare you, bring that quick prep food grater to the farmer's market and have some fresh vegetables and let people shred their carrots. They're going to go crazy. Those people that are buying all those fresh zucchini and fresh carrots and things like that for their carrot cake and their zucchini bread and whatever they're doing, to see that tool in action there would be super powerful. Ooh, I like that. Quick Prep Food Grader. Because guys, that's going to sell. I love that. Okay. So then we go, okay, when are we going to execute? On Saturday, I'm going to contact the chamber and ask about farmers market. Okay, and see, does it cost money? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it costs money to be there. I don't know if I have to have certain rules or whatever, but I don't know until I schedule it to go get that on my calendar to figure that out. Okay. When would I do? I will put together my recipe resources on Monday at 9 p.m. when I'm working, because I'm not going to do it when I'm going to be contacting people. Okay, dude, that's this right here is a non-income producing activity. Okay, it does not involve connecting with a person. Now, when I do this income producing activity and I talk to somebody and maybe I book my farmer's market thing, okay, then I am wanting to do the non-income producing activity in order to make the activity that I'm actually at income producing and helpful. Okay, but I want to make sure that I'm careful about how much time I spend on something like this. Don't spend 8 hours together doing a recipe card. You know what this probably should be? This should probably be me going to the website and printing out the recipe for zucchini linguine and having those made up on little cardstock papers that I printed and cut. Should be a 15-minute activity. Okay, does that make sense? But then I have it and it's done and it's scheduled. Okay, any questions about this selling portion? Okay, let's move on to recruiting. Okay, who is my audience? Teachers, college kids, coming back for summer income. People who want the quick cooker. If anyone has drooled at your quick cooker, guys, it's $109 for that kit. Okay, with these resources that are coming out, who can we talk to about with this? Who else can we talk to for our audience for recruiting? Crickets. And I'll throw this out there, guys. I mean, it's natural for us to have a, like, here's good news, bad news. Good news is we are still on track for our yearly recruiting goal, okay? Because we crushed it in March. We had 57 new recruits with that $39 kit. We recruited 8 in April. Guys, we have more than 8 directors. So that means that not only were we not recruiting, okay, that means that the other 280 people on our team were not. Okay, so we've got to figure that out. Okay, who else? Is there anybody else that we can talk to? Okay, so what resources can we use? Marketing imagery.
Trina, should past hosts be on there for who
There
we
go. Past hosts. Good. Perfect. Even just like past leads, honestly. Like if we're keeping, I've been starting to be really good. And guys, this has been a game changer for me, just for even my mental. I've been starting to keep my little notebook that has my people and my resources. And when I'm recruiting, I'm putting a little R, so I have the date, their name, and then what I'm reaching out to them for. And I'm putting a little R if it's recruiting, and I'm circling it if I have a two-way conversation, so that I can know that this person and I have been chatting back and forth, okay? And guys, from my list, from it back and forth or whatever, I had 2 people join. One at the very end of April and one at the very beginning of March already. Oh, speaking of which, I have a meeting with her at 10:30 for her second new consultant strong start call. Okay, so marketing imagery, team opportunity group, opportunity events, opportunity events. Okay, and guys, we have one. It's the second Tuesday and the last Sunday. And we've got that quick cooker takeover going on, guys. I'm so proud of our team for stepping up. That thing is almost full, and I think it's fun. I mean, I think it'll take a little bit for that group to catch on. But if we go in there, just showing this off, it's going to create such a desire. And I think it's really powerful for all of us to be working together. Let's see. Everyday brochure. Okay. Hashtag big ask. Director screenshots. You know, if we're not sure what to say, asking each other. Kit credit. Half price rebate. Okay, does everybody understand how that works? So like, you know, like in April when they hit $12.50, as soon as, if they hit $12.50 in 30 days and they joined in April, Pampered Chef just sends them a walk, right? In May, if they hit $12.50 in 30 days, Pampered Chef sends them a check for 50% of the purchase price. So like say they had a $50 kit credit and they got the $109 kit. So they bought that for $59 and then they hit their 30-day bonus. They're getting a check for half of the $59, not for half of the $109. Okay, so just keep in mind that that's half of the purchase price. Whatever they paid, they get 50% back when they hit that. Okay. Okay, how will I use these resources? I will invite, or I will message out my script to those who were interested in the quick cooker. I will invite all of my hosts to use the kit credit. I will invite all of my past hosts to the opportunity event. I don't know, what's something else I can do? I will reach out to teacher friends, teacher and college kids who might want summer income. Does that make sense? Okay, when will I use this? I will message, or I will host coach on the phone and mention kit credit this week. I will email, or I will text my past hosts asking about their products and inviting to opportunity event this Sunday. So like on Sunday, I'm going to text all my hosts and ask them to come to the event on Tuesday, you know, or whatever. Okay, does that make sense? You know, just, I mean, whatever that would go through. Guys, you'll notice again, when we get to this part, it just has a lot to do with what am I going to go and figure out? Okay, how are we doing? What other ideas? Okay, and then the developing others. Okay, so those of you guys that have director or that are directors and above and are working with a teammate, okay, so who will your next directors be? Okay, put their names in there. How am I going to develop my new consultants? Okay, who are they? Who are my new consultants that just signed that are in their first 30 days? My first 30 to 90 days, okay? What resources will I use? I will use the new consultant training kit. And here's the deal, like with those phone calls, you need your, you know, even if you have, when you're developing your directors, training them how to use this new consultant strong start script that we have. It's in the director page. So be able to share that and make sure that your team leaders have access to that. What is the next one? Okay, how will I use it? I will schedule phone calls. I will, you know, check in with a one-on-one. I will create a Google form that lets them know their goals. I will check up with them in 2 days to see if their power plan is filled out. I don't know. When will you execute this activity? I will check in with my director, you know, with my team leads every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I don't know. Okay. If you have someone that is up and ready to promote this month, really you should be in contact with them daily, because things can change in a heartbeat or they can get demotivated really fast. And if they are trying to promote this month, then you need to be able to have them have access to you and to know that you're talking every day, and that if they are discouraged that day, that you're there to pick them up and hoorah with them. Okay? Okay, so here is what I love. The second page of this, then it breaks it down to weekly. Because guys, if you are looking at your schedule too big, okay, we need to zoom out, but then we need to zoom in so that we figure out what's going on. Because if you just look at, again, let's go back to Disney goals or sales goals. Okay, if you just look at, I have the year to earn Disney, and we don't break it up by month, and we don't break it up by week, you don't realize that you're off track until it's too late. We don't want to be figuring out on May 25th that our show schedule isn't coming together the way that we want it to. Right? That's a bad plan. That's how some of us operate. We don't want to do that. Okay, and I love this. It says, when will you hold a team meeting? Okay, I have mine, and I would love to even hear, let's figure this out. I'm still trying to figure out what this looks like for you guys. I've been trying to really empower you guys to have the option to I'll stop sharing this for a while. Really have the option and feel empowered to hold your own team meetings. And especially some of you guys that are really new, or some of you guys that are team leaders and stuff, like you should be working with your directors to go in. But I want you guys to have, okay, now I'm seeing some of the chats. Moms who have to pay extra daycare for the summer, that's excellent. People looking to help. Oh, see, look at those specifics. Those are really good ideas. But so being able to zoom out on what you've got is important, but like, we've got to be able to adjust our things 1 week at a time so that we know that we're making progress. Because if you're looking, going, yeah, I want to be able to earn Disney, and then you don't understand that, right, but you didn't have any shows the first week of May, so now instead of earning 5,000 points for the month, you need to earn 5,000 points for these 3 weeks. Oh, you didn't do anything the second week either because you have your 3 or 4 shows all scheduled for the last week of the month? Okay, great. Now you only have 2 weeks to do that. See what kind of pressure that has? Whereas if you were looking at it and doing an oxygen mask check on week 1, you would be able to adjust and recalculate. Okay. Picture again, GPS. I love the idea of recalculating. If you are trying to do stuff, and you don't check your GPS, say you took a wrong turn, and you don't check your GPS for an hour and go, oh my gosh, I've been going the wrong direction for an hour. Now you have to go an entire hour back to where you were to get on the right road and still go that entire hour back in that. Like, it's so discouraging. Guys, I missed a wedding once. So we lived in Tulsa, and the wedding was in Kansas City, and it was to my best friend. So excited she's getting married. We're traveling to go see this. Okay, this was before we had kids. Okay, and the instructions, we go to Kansas City all the time, like, because we drive home to Minnesota and Wisconsin, like, we knew how to get to Kansas City. So we didn't, like, the instructions said, hey, if you, like, when you get to Kansas City, go, what did it say? Go west or whatever, or go east on this road. So we're like, okay. So we get to Kansas City, and when we hit this interstate, we go east. Well, we didn't know that these people always go to Kansas City from Tulsa using this other interstate. They use this other road. So I want you to picture, they're going like this, we're going like this, and then they tell us to go east. Okay, the wedding's right here. So I'm going this way. Finally, we're however far out of town, and I was like, something's wrong. So we go in, and this was, and again, I didn't have a smartphone, like I didn't have Google, like I didn't have this. Okay, we're following these instructions that they gave us on this map that they gave us on the wedding invite, and suddenly I realized, I'm like, this isn't right. I'm like, didn't take this interstate to get to Kansas City. I think they took this other one. I'm looking at an atlas. Okay, picture all this. So I realize, as we're going through, I'm crying in the car because I'm like, I'm gonna miss my best friend's wedding. I'm texting my friend who's saving a seat for me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're the wrong way. Like, we're not going to make it. We didn't even tell her. We got to the rehearsal dinner, and Zach was like, this is great. I got fed. Or we got to the dinner. He's like, I got fed. I didn't even have to go to the boring wedding part. But I mean, like, I was so traumatized. Like, a month later, after she was back from her honeymoon, I'm like, so I missed your wedding. She was like, what? I was like, sorry, because she saw me there. When she's walking down the aisle, she's not paying attention to who's there. But guys, I was devastated because I didn't check where I was at sooner. Absolutely devastated that I missed my friend's wedding. Okay. But it's the same thing. Don't allow yourself to get too far off track just because you didn't take the time to gauge or to check or to make the plan beforehand. Okay. So I would say, here's the deal. That took us, to actually do the power plan part, probably about 30 minutes. Okay. To make that for the month. Now, if you feel more equipped and more ready and more like, hey, I have an idea what's going on with what's happening, then, because I'm a mess all the time, okay? Like, think of how much more equipped your personal business is going to be. And then think of how much more equipped you're going to feel like being able to give some solid, tangible ideas to your teammates. And think if you can make this power plan in advance, like we're making it right now, but like if your May is already set up how you need it, and you're able to make this power plan being like, yep, but I'm power planning for my June because my May is booked. So now I'm power planning with what I know about May and June. Okay. Now here's the deal. Maybe things adjust a little bit, you know, like maybe if I already power planned because my April was how I want it, and I power planned in April to finish up my April and to get started on my May. And then maybe May comes up with a $109 quick cooker kit. Oh my gosh. Okay, things are changing a little bit. Now I got some more stuff to do, okay? So it adjusts a little bit, but it doesn't rock my whole world. I'm not waiting to be able to make my plan. If you guys can learn to operate with making a plan, reflecting on how last month went, and making a plan for the current month, you'll be ahead of the game and you'll have your own oxygen mask on. You did a temperature gauge on yourself and you're checking in weekly with yourself to take care of yourself and then being able to move forward. And here's the deal. How many hours do you think you waste in a month from not planning? So what if, and you're going to tell me, I don't have time to do this every month. I don't have time to do a power plan every month. What if you gave yourselves 30 minutes of focused time to just let yourself compute what are the specials, who am I talking to, and what is my plan, and what do I want? 30 minutes to allow yourself to do that and to go in. And it's kind of funny because sometimes you go, well, I don't like doing that. We buck the system a little bit because we go, that's like really business-like. That sounds like a lot of, you have a business. If you're in this meeting and you're operating at this level, you have a business. Okay, I didn't offer the random consultant who sold $100 an invitation to this meeting. Okay, like you guys have a business. It's okay to feel like you're running a business sometimes because you are. That means you're doing it right. That means you're doing it right. If every once in a while you feel like, whoa, I wasn't trained in marketing and power plan and KPIs and looking at all these charts, like I wasn't trained in that. Okay, sometimes your job looks like cutting out something and putting stickers on Happy Mail. And sometimes your job looks like analyzing reports, analyzing the month specials to come and making a plan. Just how our job looks. Okay, so I'm hoping that you guys felt like this gave you guys a, oh, this is how I do this and the power to do it. Team leaders, I will figure out, directors, if you will send your team leaders a copy of this, you should be able to save it, I think, as like a PDF and send it to them, and then I think they can write in it. And even if you can't save it for them to write in it, for some reason that doesn't compute, if you will just even save a picture or something like that, make sure that they have access to it. I think that that's helpful for them to be able to look at so that they can make their own on their paper or whatever. Okay. I'm hoping that you guys feel equipped with some tangible ideas on how to approach months when we have a cluster of things. I hope that you had a second to say, what are your goals? Do they match? Okay. I hope you had a second to say, who am I going to talk to? What tools do I have? And when am I going to do it? Okay. I am going to kind of look at what you guys have going on. Remember to use those daily tasks that I've given you guys, like number 1, personal business first. So if you filled out that chart, or if you filled out that Google slip and are in a little bit of a panic and are going, I have to tell her that I only have 3 cells. Good. Because I'm not sitting there freaking out on you, but the fact that it made you freak out a little bit on yourself lets you know that if you're panicking about that, not going, I have 3 shows, I'm so proud to show her this, then that means your goal is not where you want it to be. Okay, that's what that does. It's a temperature gauge. Okay, if you're embarrassed about what you put on that chart, that means that your show schedule is not where you want it to be. If you're proud of it, that means you're hitting your goals. I didn't tell you what you had to have. Okay, it wasn't required to have 8 shows. Okay, but if you're not happy with that number that you gave me, that means that you're not done working. Okay, ideally, I would love for more. And I don't know how to have this help in the best. So I'm going to need you guys. And I know a lot of you guys are processors. So if I ask you the question now, you're just going to stare at me again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a question, and then I'm going to ask you to think on it and come back with ideas on how you would think would be helpful. So I would like for you to think about kind of how this went. If you thought it was helpful, it's okay if you didn't think it was helpful. Okay. Because I don't know, this is the first time we've ever been like, let's look at the power plan and see what this is. Okay. Maybe you found it helpful, but you would have liked it presented a different way. Like maybe you decided, you know what, having us divide into like groups of 3 actually would have been way more helpful. Maybe you decided, you know what, if we could be told, put together our power plan the week before and then come together and come up with new ideas together. I don't know. I don't know what this looks like. I don't know what would be helpful. I know that as a director team, you guys have asked for maybe a more informal, let's get together and look at what's going on, than like a director meeting where it's like, hey, here's all the stuff. We got to do all the things for everybody else. Whereas this one is more like, how do we do this stuff for us? I mean, obviously it entails, helping our team. But I don't know. So if you guys can kind of think of what you would like, possibly like an extra director meeting to look like, again, informal, but help us work our business together and have this brainstorming option. And then kind of come back to me with that. That'll help me figure out what that looks like. Screen share so you have on there, because I think I missed something. Oh, yes.
So probably in like the
here. Oh, Melinda, is that what you were looking for? But just so that you guys have the option to be like, what is this? Because again, I don't know what this looks like. When I sit there and think of putting together a power plan, I picture that it probably has a lot to do with having to do it after all the specials are announced. But really, the truth is, if we wait until the beginning of the month every time, like maybe that's too late. I don't know. Like our director meetings are the 3rd Tuesday of the month, and we do that with the intention of being able to catch anything, help you guys finish your month strong, but still plan for the next month. But maybe we need something like this at the beginning of the month. Where'd my chat go? How do you get to this form again? Okay, so it's under training and under leader resources, Lisa. Yep, good question. Okay, I'm going to let you guys go. I envision having something just be like, hey, just an hour of, hey, let's make this. So I don't know, like I said, Saturday mornings, like this Saturday morning, it worked out really well for me because Zach's gone. So I don't feel like I'm using up any family time really right now. I've got stuff planned with my family all day. I know a lot of you guys work your businesses on the weekend. I typically do not, but if everybody else is like, yeah, like I would love to take an hour on a Sunday night or an hour on an early Saturday morning and just make a plan. You guys are definitely worth that investment. And so that's something that I can plan. Saturday mornings are perfect for you. Yeah. So like I said, just let me know like what those are. Maybe I'll take a survey, even if it's just some times. But I would love to hear some feedback, for you. Cause honestly, like for me, some of it is, just a matter of me prioritizing. And if this is something that you guys think is a priority and that the time slot works for you, then that becomes a priority for me too. I'm not going to schedule something on Saturday mornings at 9 that nobody can go to. Tiny homework before and then go over it. That's good feedback. Okay. So lovely processors. Saturday morning is actually bad for me. Like I said, mine, I think because we had suggested, because I know Shelly had her team meeting scheduled today, and I was like, girl, go to your team meeting. Like, do it. Like, I love that you have a team meeting. But I was like, I can't do 8 because I knew as far as getting the kids settled and out of my hair for the hour with Zach not being home, I knew that wasn't going to work for me. Yes, but yeah, being able to come in kind of here at the tail end here, Shelly, I think is great. And I do have this recorded, so I'll put it only deaf, so I can't do this regularly. Yep. And like I said, and again, that's something to be like, hey, I'm not sure what this looks like. The goal would just be that it would be that hour of networking. I know it won't work for everybody, but just to hear the majority of what it would look like with you guys. It was the same thing. Like I was tempted to worry about it because I knew Shelly and Carrie couldn't come today, but I was like, you know what? And when you guys are planning your team meetings or team trainings, same thing. Like take a step back. And it's hard when not everybody can make it, but be like, here's the deal. This is the time that worked for me, and the majority of you guys could make it, so I just went ahead and went with it. And then I was like, we'll catch everybody else up. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go because I have a new consultant strong start call at 10:30, which normally I wouldn't do, but I was like, you know what? I've got her. She's excited to get started, and I have you guys training, and I knew I would just be rolling right into working a little bit more. So, okay, I will. The wish list blew my mind. Yay! And like I said, and guys, it's things like that that like I have that maybe I don't use regularly because I'm not digging into that pool, but I forget that that would be a huge resource for you guys to be able to go in or to train your teams on. So just know that I'm continually trying to grow alongside with you. There's a bunch of stuff in me that I'm sure is valuable to you guys that I don't know what's in there and I don't know it's valuable. So I'm going to just kind of try to keep tugging it out of myself and helping you guys out. And hopefully that last question that I had you guys answer about what things you guys would like training on will help me kind of know how to guide things. That typically we don't. I loved having resources that, okay, yeah, and that's, like I said, that's even, you know, helpful for me to know, Stephanie, like, hey, what resources maybe do we have that we don't know that we should be helping you guys develop as team leaders so that you guys know how to work your businesses as well. Alrighty, friends. I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you for investing in that and just kind of playing with me on this. Like I said, I'll help you guys. I'll look forward to some feedback on what you guys have going on. Oh, Melinda. Would your friend be willing to, we'll chit chat because I have a question about cups because your friend like does cups. Like if we were to order something, she would. Okay. I'll send you a message here in a minute. Okay. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.